Gems. Well, welcome to Kim Gems. Welcome in the new year. This is Kim Evans. You know, it's been a minute since I've done a Kim Gem, but today I think I needed to express some Kim Gems today. So for those of you who do not know who I am, let me just give you a brief introduction of who I am. I am Kim Evans. I'm the proud owner of Two Gorgeous Integrated Health and Wellness, a spa that brings couture clinical facials massage therapists as a certified medical massage therapist, by the way, and professional makeup. My couture facial studio is located in Lafayette, California, and I'm also a business coach for womenpreneurs, ladypreneurs. I help you to elevate your business with my strategic coaching, where we craft personalized plans to overcome challenges and to achieve your unique goals. With KME coaching, we draw 2 decades, 27 years I have been an entrepreneur. In the entrepreneurial cosmic space, I bring valuable insights to guide you on your path of success. So experience a premium coaching solution tailored for ladypreneurs. I love working with women. I also work with men too, addressing not only your business challenges, but also nourishing your holistic well-being for a sparkle of success in every aspect of your journey. So welcome. I'm Kim Evans, and that is what I do. On this Kim Gems, I wanted to share a serious moment with you. For those of you who do not know, I actually just suffered a great loss, losing my dad the day after Christmas. Lost my dad the day after Christmas, and beautiful funeral services just 2 weeks ago in January. And now we're picking up the pieces. Now, when I look back, the longest man that I've ever known in my life has been my dad, and I was raised by my dad. So my mom every other weekend, but I was raised with my dad. So to lose a pillar, a root stumbling block in my life, it definitely is going to be a journey to move forward a little bit. But I have no regrets. And I've been able to be with my dad every step of the way. And the last, 6 or 7 years ago, it's been on the declining health. And God knows the hour and the time, and he knows the space for those kinds of things. So I am greatly going to miss him. And it is a challenge. But I wanted to share, and I wanted to bring some sunshine to people that are suffering losses, have suffered a loss, is suffering a loss. And that's to let you know that there is another side. Okay. When we're in the beginning of it and it's happening to us, it is challenging. It is hard. And this is why it's important for things like grief therapy is essential. So I wanted to share with you real quickly on this Kim Gems on grief therapy, and something maybe you might want to consider, as I am going through it myself. And I'm just being transparent with that. So let me just share a little bit. I entered this program, and I'm going to leave the resource of this in the show notes if you're interested. It's called actually Grief Share. It's virtual, so it can be done from anywhere in the world. You just pick a time that works with you, and you actually will be joined with a church. It is Christian based. That's why I loved it. It's very Christian based. But anyway, I'll leave the resource and you can do your own research. But what I wanted to share, I did one session, it's 13 sessions, and the one session that I had was so impactful. I took copious notes. I said, wait a minute. I says, I have to do a Kim Gem on this because I was so excited. Wait, let me get all centered, because I got some really wonderful stuff that I want to share with people who are going through this, about to go through this. And maybe you haven't even realized and have a loss for 7 years and you don't understand why things are not going the way that they are, because people deal with grief at different times. And one of the things that I learned so much about this is I never realized that there were signs of of mourning, of grief. And now this is not my first rodeo. I lost my grandmother about 3 years ago. I've gone through some deaths. Seriously, I have gone through my share of deaths. I have a very large family. So, unfortunate on one side is really great to have a large family, but on the other side of that continuum is that, they will be loss of passings. So I wanted to share some significant notes that I was able to glean from just from the first session. And I said, you know what, if the first session is this impactful, I can't wait to the next ones. Because the whole thing is what grief therapy does, it just helps you to emotionally balance. It helps you to emotionally balance, and it helps you to get unstuck and to move through that hurt and that heart and that my heart is heavy, but with this is a beautiful source, and it's making it light because God didn't mean it to be that way. And we all got to go through a death door. We enter in this world, we're going to exit this world. Let's keep it real, right? We're all going to exit this world. When we come in, we're going to go out. So let's just keep that real. But let me share some light on this. Signs of mourning. And that is very significant. And here it is. Never realized that there's different signs of mourning, right? One is acknowledging and accepting that it's a reality. It's happened. It happened to me. I lost my dad. It happened to me. Acknowledging that things have changed. He's no longer here with me, but he's with God and he's with spirit, but he's always with me. But in the flesh, things have changed, right? You will be angry. Anger is an emotion. God gives it that. Anger is tears, crying, hurt. It's emotion, right? You will address the question that you might not be thinking of it now, but all of a sudden 6 months later it's going to come up like, oh, it may not hit you right now, but it may, hit you later. You wrestle with the emotion of it all, and you sit back and you're like, okay, what next? How do I navigate it? That's the sign. Is when you ask yourself, how do I navigate and get through this? And then in the end is that you explore new opportunities to help you move forward. Because in the end, you embrace it, you learn to move on. Grief is not your friend. Grief is a teacher. So let me share the differences in how we handle grief, which is really nice. It's an A to Z. It's an A to L, A to Z thing, and sometimes people come back to C. It's going to impact people on different levels at different times. So no, you're not crazy. There are different aha moments which you will have to pivot. People don't speak about it, but it'll come up, and how you deal with it is interesting, but you should talk about it. You go from anger to joy and joy back to anger, but there are tools to help you with it. So the funeral is over, and what do you do next? The calls start coming. The calls stop coming. So what do you do next? You look at your situation is a unique circumstance, or is it traumatic? Some people have traumatic circumstances, which causes them to have loss. Other people just makes them unique. Maybe health conditions and health concerns and things of that nature might be more of a unique, whereas traumatic could be a sudden loss. That could be the difference between the two. There's personal strategies of grief. And then there's influence, how people deal with grief differently based on their cultural background. I thought that was really very interesting, that every culture is going to express and respond to grief differently. And the reason why I wanted to share this, because when you see people or not yourself that's going through it, you'll have a better deepening perspective of maybe how you can have a human connection with them than just saying my condolences. So after this, you'll be like, wow, is that so? Whoa, you have an empathetic, not a sympathetic. You have a connection, a heart connection. You can kind of sort of understand maybe what someone is going through, or yourself. That's why I'm talking about it. It's important. I just experience it. People that go through grief, number one, you either experience it differently or you will express it differently. There's a difference. Everyone's experience is different. Their expressions of it is different. People will express their grief differently. And that leads me to the next point is your different grief style. Some people will express their grief outwardly. They wear it on their sleeves. They're very emotional. They lash out. I have a cousin, as a matter of fact, some people are just stuck in their grief and she wear her emotions on her sleeves. But you know what? I know how to deal with her better now. I thought it was very interesting when I took this class. It's like I went like, wow, is that so? How some people flutters and they stay fluttering. So when you learn more about this, you can have a better human connection with someone who's suffering there, a coworker, maybe it could be a spouse, a loved one, a family member, a friend. You just don't be looking at them like they're Frankenstein's walking through the woods, because it's a real life expression or experience that they're feeling. Loss is a serious, significant experience. Let me get to the second one, inward. Some people, their grief style is inward, meaning they hold it in. Some people implode, but that's not good, because if you don't express what's on your heart or talk about the person who have suddenly lost you, you could implode. I know several of my clients that have family members that have suffered suicide. They just don't talk about it. And all of a sudden they cooking eggs and they just go totally off, and they just boom, and they just don't know, boom, they just don't know why they go totally off while they're cooking the eggs, is because they've imploded because they didn't have an opportunity, or they're not allowing themselves to express, because you have to go through those 6 signs of mourning. Oh, I hope this is helping somebody. Or you have a blend of both. So your grief style could be inward, it could be outward, or it could be a blend of both. The other thing that I learned in this class, my first one, is that you have to acknowledge the person that you have lost. I acknowledge my dad is my blessing. He's not my possession. Woo! Did somebody get you that? My dad, or your loved one that you recently lost, my dad is my blessing. I was raised by him 57 years, the oldest man I know in my life, next to my grandfather, who's also gone in heaven, that sits at the right hand of Jesus. Um, he's my blessing. He's not my possession. And oftentimes when we hold on to people who have lost, we don't go through the grieving process. You got to let them go. You got to let them go. They're not your possession. They're your blessing, and your heart can be lighter and you can deal with it a lot better. He is the blessing from God. My dad was the blessing from God and taught me so much to be the woman that I am today. He's not my possession. He's my blessing. So, woo, I thank God for the blessing, and I thank God for my dad. And the only way that I'm going to see him again is through Jesus Christ, because everybody got to go through the death door. And through Jesus Christ, through death, I will see my dad again in heaven. Hey, so for us faith believers, I'm talking to you now, for the faith believers, your loved one is your blessing, is your blessing. Let that resonate. Let that resonate. Tears and cleansing. God gives us emotions, and tears is a tool to shed some of those emotions. You're going to be angry. You may be happy. You might be driving down a road, and all of a sudden I'm listening to a song, and all of a sudden I'm boohoo tears. And people be like over in the other lane, like, what is going on with that lady? I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I give them the queen wave. It's okay. It's okay. And I'll wipe them tears. Wipe them tears. Let them tears come down your eyes. Let those tears come, because tears are cleansing. They clean your heart. They clean your emotions. They clean your thoughts. They clean your beliefs. They're cleansing. They are natural. Please let your tears come down. It's okay. Carry a handkerchief if you need to. Tears are okay. Don't care what people say or think about you because your tears or your eyes are bloodshot red. I still have to work. Right after the funeral, I still had to come home. I still had to go to work. And there'd be times my eyes would be red. So my clients would come up the stairs and they'd be like, ooh, I know what they're thinking though. I'd be like, don't worry, I'm not smoking any cannabis. I mean, I could right about now, but I'm not smoking any cannabis or anything like that. I just have tears of joy right now. Just lost my dad and I was just thinking of something and, I just had a moment. But how you doing? Come on in. So it's okay. It's okay to have those tears. So let me just share a few more things. Is that the tears allow you to do cleansing so you do not stay emotionally stuck. And what you don't want to do is to be emotionally stuck. But I'm going to get to some real good stuff right here. So the tears help for you to replenish, to renew, to allow you to do the internal work. Y'all, you gotta do internal work. If you lose someone, you gotta have to do your eternal work. Everybody gotta do it. God created us to be in community with one another, not to be as an island alone. So here's the deal. You no longer have the significant person that's in your life. And so the question that I want to share with you on your heart is to ask, how is my relationship with God in this journey? How is your relationship with God in this journey? You no longer have this beautiful person that was in your life. That is a blessing to you, not a possession, but a blessing to you. And ask God, what is my relationship here with you now that I no longer have this person? Ask that question to you and ask God the question, how now can he fill the void of that person no longer being in your life? God, how will you fill the void? My dad is no longer here. And how can I use that energy to move humanity, to be a blessing for others, to be able to stand in the kingdom of God and to do your good will? What is my role now? Now that my blessing of my dad is no longer here, what is my next assignment? Let's go there. Come on now, y'all. Come on now. Let's use it as a tool. It's a tool. Because remember, I said that grief is not your friend, it's your teacher. So you have to be prepared for surprises. I'm going to end with some few more points that I learned from this. And as I learned significant, this is part one of many of Kim Jim's grief sharing. I'm going to be sharing because it needs to be said. It needs to be said. It just needs to be said, and I'm going to. So be prepared for surprises. It's called grief ambushes. When I lost my sister about 10, 15 years ago due to breast cancer, I couldn't understand when her birthday came. Her birthday actually is coming in March. It's going to be coming March 2nd. At the age of 39, right before her 40th birthday, she passed away of breast cancer. And it's like, when the birthday comes, like boohoo tears, no, ambush. First, you're boom, ambush. And I didn't realize, but now I know from this class, it's like, you're going to have some ambushes. Let me tell you what your ambushes are. It's the first anniversary, if it's in a spouse. It's going to be the first birthday. It's going to be the first holiday. It's going to be the first major experience that you experience with that person the first year that you lose them. So when you mentally can prepare for it, it's like, whoa, it doesn't come on you like an ambush, like you fighting in war. And so this is why I'm saying going to grief share or having therapy, whether it's a group or whether it's individual, it just prepares you. That's all. So that you don't become emotionally stuck. The harder it will be is when you don't recognize and you don't acknowledge it and you don't prepare for the first event. This is going to be the first Christmas without my dad this year, right here, 2024, because he passed away in 2023. So I have to prepare myself emotionally for that closer to the holidays so I don't get all bent. This is why holidays overtake people. They get sad because they think about it right at that time instead of allowing the process to come. They become ambushed. So this is what I'm trying to say. So, these are kind of the first and being ambushed. So you take steps so it doesn't overtake you so much. But lastly, they're called grief ambushes, actually. It could be music. It could be touching someone's hair. It could be smelling something in the kitchen. You had a restaurant, and all of a sudden, this savory smell brings you back to where you were sitting with a parent or sitting with a loved one or sitting with a friend. It's like all of a sudden you just out of sorts. You just get out of loss of self because it just ambushes you. But guess what? Over time, the triggers will be less. The effect of the trigger will be less as you're experiencing more. This is why grief therapy, y'all, is so exciting. It's exciting to know that there's tools to help you to become unstuck emotionally. So you have to know your transition plan. It's not easy, but it's beneficial. Again, grief is not your friend, but it is your teacher. You need to embrace it, acknowledge it, and move on. And how you handle that about life and about loss will set you so far more healthier. And then you will actually have your own freedom to grief. You have your freedom to it. But let me lastly just say this. You don't want to keep it inside because it can lead to a lot of health conditions, depressions, level 1, 2, 3, 4 depression. It doesn't want to, you don't want that to wear you like in the closet, like Glenn Close, flickering on and off, like Fatal Attraction. And she had that light and you're going like this one day and it's Tuesday, one day is Wednesday. No, 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 no. Your health can decline. Your own health can decline. Your digestion can shut down. And then, you hear people that don't want to eat. It can lead to some health concerns for yourself and stress. And before you know it, you'll be joining your lost one. So let's keep this real. This is a real thing here. This is a real experience. So I had to share this with you as I'm going through this myself. I'm just being transparent. But oh man, I was totally against it in the beginning, especially the grief share with groups. But I have found when you are in community with other like-minded people experiencing what you experience, it's the synergy of learning and moving past it. And the goal again is to get emotionally unstuck, because death is the thing that's going to come. We come in this world, we're going to exit this world. So peace be unto you. I hope my Kim Gems, my grief actually podcast and of this particular mini sessions that I will be sharing. I hope it will be very helpful for those that are going through it, about to go through it, and people that are in it. So this is Kim Evans. God bless you all. And remember that you can handle it and you too can see the other light. Grief is not your friend. It is a teacher, and it makes us all better to get to the other side. All right, you guys, God bless you. If you need to schedule a strategy call with me, please click the link below. I will have that available if you would like to reach out to me, and I will also have this as a resource as well. And for those of you who will be joining me in March, it would like to know more about the Ladypreneur, the Empower Her. I will be having my in-person live event, which I will be talking about self-care management for ladypreneurs, because it is very important, you all. We all know that self-care is very important to our health in being able to have total mind, body, soul wellness. All right. Thank you very much. And God bless you all for watching. Bye for now.